glad that I can be here with you all. And one of the things that we're going to look at this morning is, well, it's from the sermon we're going to be doing from Jonah 4. And one of the things that we will cover, and we'll cover a little bit more we'll just cover it a little bit more in the sermon, but it's the sense of entitlement that plagues so many of our institutions. And as far as I'm concerned, it's something that, boy, it's a temptation in the churches as well, isn't it? And I think we see a little bit of that from Jonah. Again, I'm not going to give away the whole story, but I think we see a little bit of that from Jonah as well. A belief that he was entitled to certain good things from God because of where he came from or what he's done, how long he had been there. And so when we talk about entitlement, a sense of entitlement means a belief that one is inherently deserving of privileges or special treatment. Okay, deserving. And Tom Rainer brings out some examples of this, and sadly, these can be all too prevalent in all too many churches. I've been a member of this church for 20 years, so I deserve things my way. Doesn't have to be 20 years, it can be more than that. Someone was sitting in the pew where my family sits. I tithe to this church, so you work for me. If I don't get my way, I'll withhold my money from the church. Some people will be in trouble if they mess with the worship way, the way that I like it. We'll just visit another church until he changes things back to the way they were. Why didn't you visit me? That's what we pay you to do. And I've noticed that with all of these and many others, many others that can come about, it's leveraging a number of things. Number one, it's leveraging the amount of time you've been at a church. Because my parents one time, when they went to a church and they had just gotten started, they had just joined, that was one of the things that someone said was, you have to be here 25 years in order to, vote or say something or make an influence. 25 years. 25 years. Now, that was hyperbole, but you get the idea, is that the long timers there, and churches can turn into a good old boys club very simply and very easily. And so we've got to be careful of that and recognize we've got to lean in and help remove this sense of entitlement there. Money. I tithe to this church, so you work for me, or I'll withhold the money from the church until you do what I want you to do. That we pay you to do. We pay you to do stuff. And you see this idea of money, where you feel like that when you give, you're entitled to certain goods and services, not realizing that it's about servanthood. It's not about entitlement. It's not about you coming to a place and feeling like, okay, now I belong and I've worked my way up the ladder to where now I'm going to be a key influencer. And it really doesn't have any place in our churches. And so what we're going to look at is, this is kind of a reverse application, because this is what happens now. Well, what happened when Jonah tried to do that? Well, we see it. We see it very smartly there. And Jonah never had a chance. If you got to remember, Jesus said, I did not come here to be served, but to serve and to give my life as a ransom for many. We need to have a servant mentality. If we don't have a servant mentality, it's no wonder that our churches are so inward and so contentious and not community driven and Great Commission driven. Because if you're going to be a part of the Great Commission, you got to be a servant. If you're not going to be a part of the Great Commission, then you're going to expect everything to be, you're going to be the master of everything. Let's make sure we don't do that. Let's make sure that we lean in and dig into what God's got for us this morning, okay? This is the last Sunday of January. This is the last, it's the last chapter of Jonah. And we're going to have another sermon next week that's going to be a standalone sermon that's going to deal with what we see, just an overarching view of what we see God sending the church to be. And then after that, we're going to be in the book of Ephesians. And so for those of you who are part of our church, or even if you have to be looking at this and you're not a part of our church, we're going to put up a study guide for the sermons that we're going to be doing, so you can dig deeper into the sermons for the month of February, so you can dig deeper into what you heard on Sunday. All right? Hey, God bless you all. I'm so excited we get to worship Jesus together. If you can't join us in person, I hope you can join us online, arbc.net/live-stream. You can join us there at 10:31 Mountain Time. So glad you joined us. God bless you all. See you soon. Bye-bye.